Okay, so here what I want to do is go through some of those examples about lines again, because I felt like I was doing a lot more work than necessary. I mean, what I was doing last time was correct. It's just that it was more work than I felt like I needed to do. And I don't want to put too much work, I don't want to show too much work because it's giving the impression that you have a lot more work to do than you really need to, and also it could cause more confusion. I mean, it wasn't wrong what I was doing, but it wasn't as efficient. But again, just as a reminder, the general form of the equation of a line is this. And again, all that means is what I have here. Every line is the graph of an equation that can be written this way. So every line is the graph of an equation in this form. In other words, it can be written this way. Where A, B, and C, no, they're constants, they're numbers, but A and B are not both 0 at the same time. Okay. Also, if you were to graph this equation, you would get a line in the plane. And what's nice about lines is to graph them, I mean, you could calculate the slope and all that stuff, but really all you need to do is get 2 points a line. Okay, that's all you need to do. I think on the homework, or maybe it's the quiz, but I do give you this kind of equation, and I ask you to find the slope. I mean, you could get y in terms of x, like I was doing last time. What you could also do is just get 2 points on the line and calculate the slope that way. You could do that. So, all right. Also, let me say this with the quiz. It's on Lumen Learning, where the homework is. So really, you don't have to show your work. So, I mean, unless you really want me to see it. So, all right. But here's just another example I want to go through. So let's say we graph this equation. I think this one might have been one I did last time. Okay. So we want to get 2 points on the line. Now, last time what I did was I got y in terms of x. It's not wrong to do that, but you don't have to do that. I mean, we only need 2 solutions to the equation. So what we can do is replace one variable by a number and then calculate the other variable. So for instance, over here, I'm replacing x by 0, and then we're going to figure out what y is. That will give us a solution. Right? As you can see, if x is 0, right, we replace x by 0. 3 times 0 minus 4 times y plus 1 is 0, right? That's our equation. That's what it becomes. And I'm choosing 0 because what's nice about it is that 3 times x becomes 3 times 0. That's gone. So all we're left with is minus 4y plus 1 equals 0. And this equation is a lot easier to solve. I mean, I could have replaced x here by something besides 0, like 1, 2, negative 10, a billion. Why would you do a billion? I don't know, but you theoretically could do that. I just chose 0 because then it makes the resulting equation a little bit easier. At least I thought so. Okay, so from here, once I replace x by 0, right, the 3 times 0, 3 times x part, that's gone. We're left with this equation. This one's a lot easier to solve. What I did was I solved it this way. Right? So I have negative 4y plus 1 equals 0. What I want to do is get y all alone. So I subtract 1 from each side. So from there, we get minus 4y is negative 1, as you can see. From there, we can divide both sides by negative 4, because we don't want negative 4y, we just want y. And so by dividing, we get y is 4th. Let me just wanted to double check something, but that's what we end up with. So what this tells us is when x is 0, y has to be a 4th. In other words, this point is a solution, so this point is on the line. But we need 2 points, right? We don't need just one, we need 2. No problem. We can take, you could take x to be something else besides 0. To make it easier, I chose y to be 0, and now we're going to solve for x. Personally, I just did that because I think it makes things easier, because essentially by setting one variable to be 0, you're killing that variable off. You're removing it, so to say. Right? Because if I replace y by 0, here, we have 4 times 0, and that's 0, and that's gone. So the equation becomes 3x plus 1 equals 0. And so we get 3x plus 1 is 0, okay? Now again, we want to figure out what x is. No big deal. We just subtract 1 from each side. Doing so, we get 3x is negative 1. And so we don't want 3x, we want x, so we divide by 3. And doing so, we get x is negative 1/3. I know I left the negative up here. If you do that, that's fine. It's the same thing. So because of that, what this tells us is this point is on the line as well, right? When y is 0, we get x is negative 1/3. So good. So now we have 2 points on the line. We have 0, 1/4, negative 1/3, 0. There we go. And so once we get that, normally I'm not doing it by hand, but I figured that's okay. Mostly because on the exam, I'm not going to ask you to draw it by hand because, we have like Desmos and stuff. So here, anyway, you would plot these points, okay? Then you connect them by a straight line. And that's what we get. So that's our line. So this is a graph of this line. Okay? That's a graph of it. All right, that's good. All right. Okay, so now that's one example. Let's do another one. Let's do 5x minus 4y equals 10. So just like before, again, I could get y in terms of x, but we don't have to. It's not wrong if you do that. It's just more work than necessary. So what I'm going to do is this. Okay, well, I want 2 points on the line. So I'm going to take x to be 0 and figure out what y is. Doing so, I get negative 4y is 10. Right? Because when x is 0, 5 times 0 is 0. Excuse me, so it's gone. So we have this. And from here, we're going to get negative 4y over negative 4 is negative 10 over 4, right? Because I'm dividing both sides here by negative 4. On the left here, we get y. Here we have y equals negative 10 over 4. So this is telling us when x is 0, y is this. And so this point is also on the line. I think we did do this example last time, but again, I feel better doing it this way again. So from here, we have a point on the line. We need another point. I'm going to take y to be 0. Again, you could take x to be something else, or you could take y to be any number. I'm just choosing y to be 0 because I think it makes the equation you have to deal with a little bit easier. Because essentially, by setting y to be 0, this part here, 4 times 0, that's going to be gone. So anyway, when y is 0, we get 5x minus 4 times 0 is 10. Right? 4 times 0 is gone. So we're left with 5x equals 10. We have 5x minus 0, which is 10. So we have 5x equals 10. And to get x, we simply divide by 5. Well, you might even see it without doing this work, but you basically get that x here should be 2, not y. Because x is 2, you get this point is on the line. Let me just quickly fix. Oh, let me just quickly fix it. No, wait. Let me do it this way. So basically, here what happens is we get x must be 2 when y is 0. So 2, 0 is also on the line. Now that we have these 2 points, right, we can easily sketch the line. Right? I mean, again, I'm using Desmos. Actually, no, here I'm using GeoGebra. Actually, this one I might be using Desmos, but either way, you can graph the line. You plot the 2 points, and then you connect it by a straight line. That's all. All right, that's fun. So let me pause the recording.